Hello, my name is Samar. I also go by Sam or First Time Panner, and that's Rosie. Anything that you want to call me, you can, but you have to call Rosie Rosie. This will be an update for my 26 in 2026. This is coming very late. Yeah, I've just been dealing with a lot of stress in my life, a lot of just stuff that takes up all of my time for everything else, but I really wanted to film something. There goes Rosie. Because I just feel like I don't want my life to just be all the stressors in my life. I want to do something fun that I like to do and kind of get back into my normal routine as much as possible. And yeah, I love project panning. So yeah, this is very late. I try to upload this on the 26th of every month. And I'm still gonna shoot for that every month, but who knows. But I'm here now, and I do actually have a really good update as far as progress. There's Roxy. So with that being said, I think I'll actually start with my empties, and yes, I have more than one. If you remember last time, I finished my first item, which was my Supergoop, just like a mini of the Unseen sunscreen. And this time I have 4 empties. I am so excited because that means I am on track to finishing all 13 items by the middle of the year, when I'll be rolling in another 13 items. And actually one of the 4 products that I finished is my other, sorry, there's dust flying, and it also looks darker than it actually is. But this is the basically e.l.f. dupe of the Supergoop Unseen sunscreen, except this is thicker. But this is the e.l.f. Suntouchable Invisible Sunscreen. And last time it was to here. I had used it only a few times after finishing the Supergoop. But since last update, I was very easily able to finish this. And then I also finished another mini primer, or I was using this as a primer. This is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide, Hue Drops. And this is like the Glow Recipe like version of their bronzy drops, but these are incredibly sheer. So I was perfectly fine using this as like the glowy hydrating step of my primer, because I always do pore filling and then something more hydrating on top of it. And yeah, this only took me a few more uses after last update to finish it, which I kind of knew because there were only 5 mils in here anyway. So now I only have 1 each of a pore filling primer and glowy primer left in this project. But before I get to that, my third empty is my One Size Powder Melts setting spray. This was very full. I mean, like, it wasn't completely full when I first rolled it into the project, but this didn't have very many uses on it at the beginning of the year, and now I've already finished it. I used it for the last time today, and by the end of doing my makeup, because I usually spray my face a few times throughout doing my makeup, by the time I finally finished my makeup and was spraying my face, it was just like sputtering and, you know, spraying like these giant drops on my face, as it'll do when you have an empty setting spray. So yeah, this is all gone. I will not be repurchasing this. I bought this, I think I got it during the Sephora like fall sale this past year, because Steph, who is It's Just Steph on YouTube, she was like, this is my holy grail setting spray. I'll never use anything else, because like the name suggests, this is supposed to like melt your powders together. And she was like, yeah, it makes me look very glowy and like not powdery at all without making me look greasy. And I was like, that's exactly what I need, because I use a lot of powder because I do have very oily skin. But because I use so much powder, I then have to set it very well, and I don't like, I want to look healthy with the natural glow but without looking very oily, which you would get with a lot of other glowy setting sprays. So I was like, that sounds perfect, and I bought it immediately as soon as it came back in stock, and it's just absolutely nothing special. I did not get any of the effects that Steph is getting from it or that this product claims. It for me was just like the e.l.f. setting spray, which is also in this project, but it like did absolutely nothing, which is how I went through it so quickly, because I would have to use so much of this for it to do almost nothing. So if you had heard about this and you were kind of on the fence, I personally would say don't bother, but you know, do whatever makes you happy. Then my final empty is almost an empty, and I'm just gonna call it for this update, which is my e.l.f. Camo color corrector, just in the shade Peach. When I first rolled it in, it was, I think, to here. I wasn't expecting to finish it this update, but I just went through it so quickly. Like, you go through this product so easily. And when I first started using it, I really loved it because, you know, it's a color corrector and it blends out very easily. And even though it like doesn't completely erase my dark circles, it was still much better than nothing. And it's so inexpensive. However, you go through it so quickly that it probably like counteracts the price anyway. But I had been looking for a color corrector replacement ever since I finished my other e.l.f. one that was more yellow toned, which was like my perfect match for my skin tone. So I was thinking maybe I would repurchase this sometime in the future, but I've noticed that lately my eyeliner has been smudging under my eyes, which it has never done, because I always set under my eyes with powder, and I think possibly it could be this, but once I stop using this, I'm going to keep using the other like Sephora concealer that I'm using and see if it still does that. Because it could also possibly be this, which I really hope it isn't, because this is like my new favorite concealer and I have it in 2 shades and they're both full. So we'll see if I ever end up repurchasing this. It does have a tiny bit left in it. Like, you can see a bunch of windowing everywhere. Like, when I scrape the sides, it's literally just like there's no product that comes off on the wand from scraping the sides. It's literally just like a tiny bit left at the bottom that comes off on like the tip of the applicator, as you can see here. Maybe you can't see, I don't know. So I technically could still get more product if I just keep like screwing the cap back on and taking it out, but I think, like I said, I'm just gonna call it. I will be filming, oh my gosh, calm down, Samar. The next video I'm filming is my empties or like makeup recap video, which I'm planning on just filming every 2 months this year. So I will come back and show you this when I film that, which I have no idea when that will be, because again, my life is so crazy and I just don't have very much motivation to do very many things lately. But I will definitely update this again because I have to feature it in that video. So if you want to see that progress, then watch that as well. But quickly, let me just talk about the few remaining products left in this project. I've gone through like almost half of them in just the 2 months. However, most of, or not most of what's left, but like about half of what's left is going to be like a long haul product. So first, let me talk about the 2 primers that I still have. Like I said, this one is a pore filling one. This is the Ulta Beauty Matte Veil Face Primer that I just rolled in last month in update 1 as a replacement for this, because this was like a Tarte Quick Stick, which is an eyeshadow crayon on one side, which is what I'm wearing on my lower lash line today, and then an eyeliner on the other side. But I finished the eyeliner and the crayon is not budging, so I wasn't gonna, even like using it for 2 months, I'm not able to make a new line marking on this. So I was like, there's no point in keeping it in for just one side of the duo that is not moving anyway. So I replaced it with this, which is my pore filling primer that I've been using since I finished the e.l.f. one. And then I still have this Supergoop Glow Screen in the shade Sunrise, but the SPF expired sometime last year, so I'm not relying on this for the SPF, but it is still like a really nice glowy like second step primer for me. So I'm really enjoying using it that way. I do have to shake this up every single time though, because no matter how much I shake it, it's just separating in here, which you know, it's expired, so I'm not surprised. But I'm not getting any reactions on my skin or anything. It's just kind of messy to use. And I completely forgot to mark both of these when rolling them in, but I'm not even gonna bother because I'm pretty sure, I know for sure this one is going to be done by next update because there's only about half of this left. And I've only been using it for like 3 weeks. And then this one already had like a ton of use on it, or not a ton, but it had like significant use on it before I rolled it in, and I've been using this ever since I finished this one about 4 weeks ago. So yeah, this I'm sure will be done next time, so I'm not gonna bother marking it. Let me take a sip of coffee because I'm losing my capacity to speak. Okay, the probably most exciting update other than the empties is on my Fenty matchstick, matchsticks. This is in the shade Truffle, and this is my 3rd year panning it, and we're almost at the end. I just have maybe like a week more of use on this, I would say, or I don't know. This always surprises me anyway, so maybe it'll take me like right up to the next update, but I know for sure that this will be an empty next time, and there's just like no shortage of dust floating in my face. This is how much product from this that I've used in this past month. So this bottom line is where the packaging starts, and this line right here is where it is now. So I used between the 2nd and 3rd line. That is how much product I've used since last update, which I did have a bit more time, more than a bit more time between updates, like introduction and update 1 and then update 1 and now. So I'm not surprised that I have more progress on it, but I just like, there's barely anything left. And I also feel like I might not get 100% flushed with the packaging because, you know, I have to like draw this on my face, and I don't want it to just scrape my face because then 1, that would hurt, and 2, what would be the point? It's just gonna scrape off the makeup that I put on my face in the first place. So anyway, I'm rambling about this. I don't really need to. This will for sure be done next time. It's been a while since I filmed, so I'm out of practice. Then I have my other cheek product, which is my NYX Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tint in the shade Nude Tude. And this is just a like liquid mousse blush that has a wand. I did take the stopper out a while ago because it was just infuriating me because it was so hard to get product on the wand. But now that I've taken the stopper out, which was, I think I took it out between the introduction and update 1 maybe, but the wand is just messy. What I usually do is I just like wipe some off from the wand onto my face, and I just use that until I run out of product on the wand. And the last time I did my makeup before today, which was sometime during the work week, I had to like re-squeeze all the product up and like swirl the wand around, so it's now fully recoated again. When I first rolled it in, it was to this line here, then to that line, and now when I like squeeze all the product up, it goes up to here. I think by the rate I'm going at, I should be able to finish this in 2 months, which is really exciting and also pretty necessary because I would say this is more of a like kind of mauve-y cool toned blush, which is perfect for winter. This is like the perfect shade for winter blush, but we will be exiting winter soon. Yesterday it was 89 degrees where I am, and I was a sweaty mess. So I'll probably be using shades other than that blush very soon, so I do need to kind of focus on this to get it out. And then the last item that I have actual progress on is my foundation. This is the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating CC Cream Full Coverage Long Lasting Dewy Finish with sunscreen, or SPF, but that SPF expired in 2025, so again, I'm not relying on it for the SPF, but it is a decent foundation. It is what I'm wearing today, and anyway, this is the line where it was like when I squeeze all the product down, and this is an airless pump, by the way. This is the line where it was when I rolled it in during the introduction. Then last month I only used this maybe like 2 or 3 times last month, but I hit an air bubble and I like pumped all the air out. So I ended up here, and now between update 1 and now, I'm only here. So that air bubble must have been huge to give me all that progress. Also, I have been panning a different foundation in my like King Henry VIII project I'm doing on Instagram, which is the NARS foundation, and I have a 50 use goal on that, so I've kind of been splitting my attention between the two. But I did want to make progress on this, so a few weeks ago I stopped using that one and started using just this one. So this is about 2 weeks of progress. I still have quite a bit of usage left on that NARS foundation, so I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, I don't make too much progress next time either. But then after that, I'll still have 3 months to finish this foundation, so I'm really going to have to push myself to use this. And also, I've not been wearing makeup too often lately just because of how my life has been. Literally the day after I uploaded update 1 for this video is when I was in the car accident, and my life has just been very, very crazy. If you didn't know, I was in a really bad car accident. I survived, clearly, but life has just been really crazy since then, of course. And yeah, I don't even remember what I was saying. Yeah, I haven't been wearing makeup as often, so I'm going to try to get myself back into a routine, which will be good for my mental health, I'm sure, and get more use out of this, as well as the 3 products that I was not able to make any visible progress on. The first one being my loose powder. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Setting Powder, and this one is in the shade 3.0 Golden Beige. This is my oldest loose powder. It's also my favorite, but because it's my oldest, I just want to pan it. I'll definitely be repurchasing this, but I don't want this to go bad in any way. But I rolled it in with maybe like about half left, and then last update 1, I got it down to here. However, because, and this is like probably the story of this entire update, I was also panning a different, it was like a loose powder that I pressed into a pan. I was panning that in a different project to hit pan, so that was my main focus, and I was able to do that. So I would say for the past maybe almost 2 weeks, this one has been the one that I've been using. However, like I said, I haven't been doing my makeup that often. I've probably only done my makeup maybe about half the days in the past 2 weeks. Not much use on this, and I haven't been able to make a line marking. Like, it just would look like an even thicker line if I drew one, so I'm not bothering. Sorry if the angle changed, I got a call. But yeah, these 2 are the only ones that I'm a bit worried about not finishing by the middle of the year. I would still like to finish them, but I don't know if I would meet my goal on finishing them by the middle of the year. And it's all because I like rolled other things, like similar products, into other projects like a silly person, because I should know by now. This is like, I think, my 4th or 5th year panning. No matter how well you plan your projects, life has other plans for you, like being hit by trucks. Now finally, the 2 products that I didn't use at all this past month because I was busy finishing the products that I did finish. The first one is my NYX Pro Fix Stick in Correcting Concealer in the shade 0.4 Dark Peach. So yeah, this is just, as the name suggests, a peach color corrector. This is how much I have. I, again, didn't use it at all since last update because I was focusing so much on this one. As soon as I like realized I might be able to finish this by this update, I just like was only focusing on that. So yeah, I didn't use this at all this past month, but this will definitely not take me more than 2 months to use up. I have, let me see, never mind. I thought for some reason I had this marked from when I first bought it. No, I don't. But you can see just how far it goes in there. And before rolling it into this project, I was only using it for about a month. And if you can't see, it's like there you can probably see where the product sits, like right about here. So I went through almost half of the product in just 1 month, and then the few uses that I used it between the intro and update 1. So yeah, this will definitely not take me more than 2 updates to finish this. And then my e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set setting spray. When I rolled it in, this is the intro mark, so I had used it a bit, and then I used it a few times between the intro and update 1, but I would have just made like a thicker line, so I didn't bother making a new mark. But now that I've finally finished this setting spray, this is the only one that I'm panning, and again, this will definitely not take me more than 2 months to get through. Yeah, this doesn't do very much for my makeup at all, so I do spray a lot of this so I can get through this very quickly. This is the small size. I finished the large size in like 3 months. But that is it for this update. So I've already gone through 5 of my 13 products for the first half of the year. I think by next time these 3 products for sure will be done, so my 2 primers and then my contour stick. We'll see with this one. I'm not going to pressure myself to like overuse product just to finish this by next time. And then we'll see if I'm able to make a line marking on my setting powder. I mean, I'm sure I'll be able to make a mark, but I'm a little bit nervous about this and my foundation. I will just see you in my next video, and until then, I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.